What is an experience you had at a courthouse that you'll never forget? When I was 23, I walked into the courthouse thinking I'd be in and out in 10 minutes. My uncle had died 3 months earlier and left me his old Honda Accord. All I needed was to sign some papers to transfer the title. I even told my boss I'd just be running a quick errand and would be back by lunch. The clerk called my name from behind the glass window. Joseph Alvarez? I walked up with my folder of paperwork, ready to get this over with. But instead of asking for my documents, she picked up her phone and made a quick call. 2 officers appeared behind her like they'd been waiting. Joseph Alvarez? One of them asked again. Yes, that's me, I said, confused why there were cops involved in a title transfer. You're under arrest. Bench warrant for failure to appear. Please step this way. I literally laughed because I thought they were joking. I'd never been arrested for anything. I'd never even gotten a speeding ticket. The closest I'd come to trouble was getting detention in high school for being late too many times. Wait, what? There has to be some mistake. They wouldn't tell me what it was about. Just kept saying the judge would explain everything. So I sat in this freezing cold holding room for 2 hours, still wearing my work clothes, a gray hoodie and jeans with paint stains on the knees from helping my neighbor fix his fence the weekend before. When they finally brought me into the courtroom in handcuffs, I felt like I was watching someone else's life. The judge started reading off charges that made my stomach drop. Aggravated assault, property damage, driving under the influence. The date was just 2 weeks ago in some city called Riverside that I hadn't visited in years. The name was exactly the same as mine, Joseph Michael Alvarez. But the birthday was off by 1 digit. Mine's March 15th, 1999. Theirs was March 16th, 1999. 1 day difference. I kept trying to interrupt the judge to show him my driver's license, my work ID, anything. Your Honor, please just look at my ID. I work at Home Depot. You can call my manager. Check my phone's GPS history. I wasn't even in that city. The judge wasn't mean about it, just tired and skeptical. He'd probably heard every excuse in the book. We'll get this sorted out, Mr. Alvarez, but I can't release someone with an active warrant from a neighboring county until we verify everything. I used my 1 phone call to reach my sister Maya. She dropped everything at her job at the bank and started making calls immediately. She contacted the DMV, public records, even her friend who worked as a paralegal downtown. That night I shared a cell with this guy who wouldn't stop singing Creed songs at the top of his lungs. Can you smell that smell? Over and over until I wanted to scream. I didn't sleep at all, just stared at the ceiling wondering how my life had turned into an episode of some crime show. Maya showed up to court the next morning with a printed photo she'd somehow gotten from the other county's arrest records. She marched right up to the bailiff and demanded they look at it. The resemblance was honestly creepy. Same bone structure, same nose, similar hair. But the other guy had a neck tattoo that said boss and was missing his front tooth. When the judge finally compared our records side by side, the difference was obvious. Different addresses, different employers, different everything except the name and almost the same birthday. The moment they realized the mistake was so awkward, the bailiff looked embarrassed. The clerk kept mumbling apologies. The judge just said, "Your record will be sealed and we'll issue a formal apology." But I stood there with my hands still shaking, feeling like something inside me had permanently shifted. Walking out of that courthouse, I felt like I'd lost something I couldn't name. Maybe it was trust in the system, or just the belief that things like this didn't happen to regular people who followed the rules.